to my sewing room. We have a wonderfully interesting show for you today. The main theme involves one of my very favorite techniques, double lace scalloped or scallop skirts. Let me share with you exactly what I'm talking about. This beautiful yellow dress has wonderful pintucks at the top and the loops of lace that comes down with a little bit of hand embroidery. Now, as I travel on down the skirt, let me share with you what is actually on the skirt. There's some more loops of lace, and the technique which I'm going to share with you today has to do with those scalloped or scalloped laces on the bottom that are filled with double needle pintucks. Isn't that a pretty skirt? Now, you can do the same double lace skirt and not fill it with pintucks. This is another version of the same dress. This time there are two colors of fabric in this dress. Now come on down to the skirt with me and let me share with you once again the double lace scallops or scallops on the skirt. This time, instead of being filled with double needle pintucks, this is filled with another color fabric. Now, I believe that most of you probably are thinking, well, that looks like it is a very hard technique. I promise you it is not. Come along with me over to the technique boards and I will unravel the secret of how to make this double scalloped or scallop skirt. In just a very short while, I will have the secret of that double scallop skirt unraveled for you. First of all, I'm going to start on a piece of fabric. This is my skirt. I'm going to stick the pins in the bottom of the lace, and I have a little curve there that I'm going to need to fix. So what do? I pull the string that's built into the top of the lace and gather the curve, and it lays down really flat. Moving over here, I've pinned the curves all the way across. I've pulled the string in the lace to gather in this curve, and each time I go into one of these scallops or scallops, I will go in here and pull a string, and it will gather it up just like magic. Now on this piece, once again, this is my skirt that goes all the way down here. I've pinned the scallops or the scallops all the way across. Here is my first sewing step. I zigzag or wing needle entredot stitch the top of the scallop only. Do not zigzag the bottom, I'm sorry. Then I come over here and cut away all of the skirt. Now can you see I now have a scallop skirt. That's the beginning of this beautiful dress. Over here I have made double needle pintuck strips, and I'm going to go ahead and pintuck it all the way across. And when I get the pintuck strip completed, I will bring it in, slip it underneath. Let me hold that up so you can see. I will slip the pintucks underneath this scallop skirt that I just made, and then I will come to the bottom and I will do the same thing. I will pin scallops all the way around the skirt. Now, after I get this step finished, I will come in, and now it is time for me to zigzag the bottom of the top scallop, zigzagging it or wing needle entredoting it to the pintucks and the lace, and then I will zigzag the top only of this bottom scallop. Now, let me show you what we're going to have here, and then we will trim away from the top. I will trim away the excess pintucks behind there. Now let's go on to the bottom. After I have zigzagged the top of this scallop, I will trim away all of the pintucks that were hanging below there. I have zigzagged some laces together, I butt them together, and I zigzag it to the bottom of the skirt. Now, come over here with me, and we'll make this even a little more clear. Once again, let's review. Here I have shaped the laces. I'm going to pull the string in the lace and make it lay down flat. Now after I have shaped the lace up on the skirt, I'm going to zigzag the top only, not the bottom, and then I will cut away the bottom of the skirt using a double needle, and this is what a double needle looks like, just in case some of you have not seen a double needle. It has a top, a red bar, and the double needles. Using a double needle, I will make a strip of double needle pintucks, and I will slip them up behind this lace piece that I have just cut away. In other words, I'm going to slip the pintucks in, and then I will shape lace on the bottom of this pintuck piece, pull the string, make it lay down flat, and Move this one over here. Then I will zigzag the bottom of the top piece. I will zigzag the top of the bottom piece, trim away the excess skirt, and butt the laces together to make a nice wide lace, and then I will take them in there and just zigzag them to the skirt. Now that is all there is to making one of these double scallops and pintuck skirts. Now then, what if I would like to use a double needle pintuck here? Let me pick this up once again. What if I would like to, not a double needle pintuck, what if I would like to do a double needle entredeaux? Let me share with you how easy this is to do also. Now that a wing needle entredeaux is a very wonderful stitch. All you do is use stabilizer and you follow along in the center, using the center of the foot along the edge of your lace. Now doing wing needle entredeaux in a curve is a little bit tricky. Not really, but just a little bit. You sew straight. You don't veer it around, you simply sew straight as long as you can sew straight. Now then, when you're going to come up to the top, I'm going to press the one stitch button so it will stitch along and then it will stop, okay? And I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to sew my wing needle entredeaux down. Oh, I better remove my one stitch button, hadn't I? It'll be the slowest sewing in history. All right, here we go. Now that I'm going to stitch all the way down, and now then I have my wing needle entredeaux. It is very important not to push it or pull it, but rather just let it stitch itself. You must not push or pull this stitch, or it will absolutely ruin one of the world's most beautiful stitches. Let me just stop here and pull it out so you can see how pretty that wing needle entredeaux stitch is. Actually, what you're looking at is the holes. You don't even want to see the stitching, you just want to see the holes. Isn't that a great way to attach lace? Come back to the technique boards with me. I would like to share with you a beautiful pinafore which I have chosen for the garment, the child's garment, for the whole series. Now before I show you the one which we've made for today, let me share with you the little antique pinafore which I purchased in France, which I used as the inspiration for the pattern for this series. You see it has little eyelet pieces stitched together in a little square neckline, a couple of little ruffles that go over the little sleeves. Now the one that I bought in France has a little drop-waisted inset in here. I didn't use that on my pinafore, but look at this pretty skirt. It has simply 3 tucks and a double hem. Here's the little pinafore for our double scalloped or scalloped skirt. It has pintucks on the top, entredeaux around the edge, the wider lace that has been zigzagged together for a little ruffle, and then coming down the skirt, I just love this skirt. It has double scallops or scallops on the top, double needle pintucks in between, and the scallops around the bottom. Once again, the 3 pieces of lace that have been zigzagged and gathered. Now the technique for right now I would like to share with you is how the bodice was made. First of all, start out with double needle pintucks. Then here are the pattern pieces that you will cut out: the back, the shoulder, the front, the other shoulder, and the other back. Now those will be stitched together and will look like this. All right, at the bottom of all around this bodice, you're going to put entredeaux. This is the kind that comes in a package from Switzerland. Entredeaux all the way around the edges, and then you're going to trim the entredeaux, and you have your 3 pieces of lace which have been zigzagged together. Pull the pull cord which is built into your lace, butt them up. Let me move this over just a little bit. Butt them up and zigzag it to the entredeaux, and then you will have a beautiful bodice just like this one on this little pinafore. And now I have a beautiful home decorating project for you. This beautiful bright pillow looks like a big rose. Now the design idea of this pillow was taken from a pillow that was made in the 30s. As you can see, it's folded like a rose in the middle, and it's double ruffles that are stitched round and round and round and round, making this pillow really look like a flower. Let me turn it over so you can see that it's basically a circle pillow. Now, how do you make this beautiful pillow? It's really very easy. Start, first of all, cutting out a circle. Now, in order to make the flower in the middle, you're going to just simply fold it over. Let me see, I think I have a little piece here. Let me find my glasses. Hang on a minute. You're going to fold a piece down in the middle of the double ruffle and simply take 2 or 3 turns to fold the middle of that rose, and that is the way the middle of the rose starts. Okay, let me show you on the real pillow. Now, first of all, you're going to have to run a gathering row or else use the ruffler or the gathering foot on your sewing machine. Okay, fold the center rose down, fold it in the middle like this, and at this point I would hand tack this to the pillow. I think it'd be hard to get your sewing machine in there. So hand tack this in the middle. Now then, shape your ruffle. This is a double ruffle. Shape your ruffle around, and you can pin the whole thing as you go along and then sew it all at the end, or you could do a little sewing as you go along. I think it's easier to pin the whole thing and then sew at the end. Slip your gathers up underneath the ruffle and take your ruffles all the way around the pillow, pin it at each appropriate place, and then when you get all the way around the pillow, stop and sew the ruffles down, and then just sew the back on your pillow. Next, I have a beautiful silk ribbon embroidery stitch for you. I'm so happy to have as my guest today Beverly Sheldrick from New Zealand. Beverly is the author of the silk ribbon embroidery book entitled Colonial Inspirations. She is also a guest designer for So Beautiful magazine. Beverly, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Martha. It's lovely to be with you once again. Today, Martha, I would like to show your viewers how to do a lovely fuchsia. It's a very simple fuchsia. It stands very nicely on its own. It's very simple to do, but it just does take a little bit of practice. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you, you will see here, I've got 3 little loops, one down the middle, which is a little longer, one either side, going out on a slight angle. Now, the next step is using a second colour, 2 straight stitches up here, again, one a little longer than the other. I also want you to notice that I've left a small gap between the top and the bottom sections. Having done these 2, I then go to the side and I work from the side into the middle, from the other side and into the middle. We then have the completed fuchsia, but what isn't happened yet is we haven't caught these stitches down. So I'm going to bring the stitches up from underneath here, secure each one, and then put the pistil stitches. So you can see a little bit of work, but very attractive. And again, I have a completed one here. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to do this roll. You've come up like that, go approximately 1/8 of an inch, take your needle down, and when you pull it through, you're going to have just a loop like this. And if it doesn't want to behave on you, then just take another needle, turn it over like this, and pull it down on top of the needle, which will make it easier for you. You will also be able to judge the length like that. So there's the first one. It's also very important to put your thumb on it, because when you go to do these 2 other side ones here, this is not secured. The side ones go either side. You can see how I've done them there. Now you will see again how I've left that little gap there. I'm coming up. This one should be approximately the length of your side, your center one there, and the next one right beside it, up to here, approximately 3/4 of the length of that first stitch. Now we're coming across to here, and ladies, do remember we want these 2 to be on an angle. We do not want a T-junction. We want something that looks like this, and if they twist, then don't worry, because we want them to have life. This is what really makes them dance. So there they are like that. Now the last step, of course, is to come up with your piece of either embroidery cotton or thread, come up behind the first one first, take a little stitch in underneath there to secure it, go to the side and also to this side one here. And I'm just going to take a little stitch there to show you how to do it. And then we're going to put some pistol stitch stamens in underneath here like that. And there again, as we know, just a little knot on the end of a stalk. We'll do a long one like that, and then we will do two little side ones, one each side of that centre piece there. And as you can see, we have a completed one here, and how very, very pretty they look, don't they?
Beverly, you know, this is absolutely beautiful, this little bag, the little shoe bag. I wonder if you would show everyone that little shoe bag.
Yes, certainly. You can
and
see
little fuchsias on it.
How very, very pretty they look when they're used on their own. There's also a needle case here where I have them, a group of them, a single one on the back. And again, we have here a beautiful linen bag which has just single fuchsias scattered across the front, and what a beautiful present that would make, Beverly, for a special person.
Beverly, you are right about that. Thank you so much. And next I have a doll dress for you. I think you are going to love this little doll dress. The little doll dress is made of a red silk dupi oni, and the little pinafore is a dotted Swiss, actually from Switzerland. Now look down at the skirt of the little pinafore. This is a double scallop skirt. This time, instead of being filled with double needle pintucks, it's filled with pieces of lace that have just been zigzagged together. The scallop on the top, the scallop on the bottom, and one little row of gathered lace has been butted up and zigzagged to the bottom. Now there are two different patterns of lace that have been zigzagged together for the center portion of the little doll dress. Let me share with you exactly how that is done. As a matter of fact, I have another technique to share with you on how to make this double scallop skirt. Here you can see I have zigzagged my two pieces of lace together. Now you might say, well, is that all you do? Yep, let me just show you. Right here we go. I've got my two pieces of lace, and all in the world I'm going to do is zigzag them together. That's absolutely all there is, and you just get row after row after row, however long you want your rows to be. So I've zigzagged my laces together, and now then I've put them together over here. I have a long strip that goes all the way around the skirt of my doll dress. Now then, I'm going to put the scalloped lace at the top, and you're going to look at this maybe and say, well, Martha, wait just a minute. It looks to me like you've scalloped that lace off there on that board you're working on. Well, that is okay, because I'm just going to zigzag the bottom. All right, I've put the pins along the bottom, and do you remember how we go in and find the gathering thread in the lace? Let me go ahead and pull that gathering thread and make it lay down really nice and pretty. And then I've pinned this side over here, come up in this, and I have come up into the miter and pin this side over here. Okay, now then I'm going to pull this string and make it lay down, and pull this string and make it lay down. Now then, I will do another row of lace on the bottom, and then I will pin all of it. Now, I will zigzag the top row on the bottom only. That sounds a little confusing, but you see what I'm saying. I'll only zigzag the bottom on the top row, and on the bottom row, I'm going to only zigzag the top. Then I'm going to cut both pieces away, and I'll end up with a piece that looks like this. In other words, I'm going to make this separate scalloped piece. Now, after I spray starched it and pressed it, I will bring it over to my skirt bottom. I will place it on the skirt bottom, and I will zigzag or wing needle entredot this to the bottom of the skirt. Actually, I don't even have to pin that. It's spray starched nice and tightly. So I will go in then, and I will zigzag or wing needle entredot. This time I'm zigzagging. That'll make it go a little bit faster. To the bottom of the skirt, I will just travel around in a curve like this all the way around. And then after I go all the way around, I won't go all the way around on zigzagging, then I will lift it up and trim away the bottom of the skirt. Now let's go back over to this doll dress for just 1 second. After I zigzag this piece to the skirt and go underneath there and trim, then I will come in on the very bottom and get a row of gathered lace edging and butt it up and zigzag it to the bottom of the doll dress. And now I have a beautiful quilt square for you. I'm so happy to share with you this beautiful angel quilt, which we have made for you for this series. The fabric of the quilt is red or burgundy silk dupioni, and it's an angel quilt. It has angels in the corners. Here's one angel, and then over on the other side, down at the bottom, and over here are beautiful angels. Now then, this angel up close, you can see she has a pleated skirt and all kinds of pretty silk, lace that's shaped around her for her wings. Then this square has silk ribbon embroidery by hand with the words peace in the middle of the square. The next angel is playing a very long trumpet and has some beautiful techniques on her dress. Then another one of the silk ribbon squares that says love in the middle. Here's another angel playing a harp, and she has a little halo. She's flying along this time. There is a middle silk ribbon square, actually it's a circle, that says, my angels watch over me. And over here is a little angel who is playing a mandolin. Now, also, I think you'll like the little silk ribbon that's in between these squares too. Down on the bottom is a square called joy. Over here is another angel singing out of a little appliqued hymnal. And over here is a silk ribbon circle which says hope. There are several techniques used on the angels themselves, and here is a drawing of one of these angels. Now, I'll show you later on in the series how to shape the laces for the body and for the wings and for the body. But right here, I'd like to share with you how you make the little lace pieces on the bottom of the skirts. Now, if you'll come over here with me to this angel, I'll tell you where this is. Here's the little lace piece on the bottom of the skirt, and here's how that is made. Do you remember just a few minutes ago I showed you how to butt the laces together, and we made the double scalloped skirt on the little Swiss doll dress? Well, you do the same thing in order to make the bottoms of the angel skirts. Butt the laces together, zigzag them, draw the little template, cut it out, and we'll apply it inside the lace skirts. And I'll share with you a lot more about these a little bit later on in the series. Won't you come along with me to my attic? Welcome to my attic. I'm going to look over here at my grandmother's trunk and share with you a beautiful dress. This dress has mostly, the laces are sewn in straight fashion. There's no curved lace on this dress. The 4 straight pieces of insertion make up the center front, and the one panel of lace comes down the side, and you can see how beautifully the laces are interspersed in between those 2 areas. By the way, notice the tucks. 1, 2, 3 sets of 3 tucks here and 3 tucks here. The sleeves have a very similar treatment, and the only lace shaping really is in the form of a miter. Now come on down to the skirt. It's really beautiful also. Let me try to hold up the whole skirt for you to see here. It has the same center panels, the mitered lace that comes over, the straight panels that come down, and then at the very bottom of the skirt is a beautiful piece of insertion and a double hem. You know, the backs of these dresses were just as beautiful as the fronts. Let me turn the back around and let you see how elegant the back of this dress is. It has the 3 tucks right here, the laces which come down and miter across, and the laces on either side. And look at those tiny, tiny little buttons and the laces that match perfectly. You see the pieces that match perfectly coming into there. And by the way, the waistline also has 2 pieces of insertion, and then there's a placket down the back. I certainly hope this lady had someone to help her button her dress every time she got dressed. Thank you for coming to my sewing room today. I've had a wonderful time, and I hope you have too. And I'd like to invite you back to the next show.